decide on what you want to be known for, and then relentlessly pursue that path. How is it going, ladies and gentlemen? This is Sean Barnes. I want to welcome you back to The Way of the Wolf. On the show today, I'm going to be talking about quality versus quantity and which approach makes the most sense for you. Now, to get our head in the right space, whenever I think quality, I'm talking premium brands, Louis Vuitton, Bugatti, things like that. Now, that's on the extreme end of the spectrum, but that's where I want your mindset to go. Now, whenever we talk about quantity, I want you to think Walmart. I want you to think Toyota. And yes, Toyota has some quality products, but they have a name and a reputation for, we'll say, cheaper products and just getting a lot of volume out the door. There's nothing wrong with either approach. What's most important as a business leader is that you pick a path and stick to it. To kind of dive in a little bit deeper on the nuances and differences, whenever it comes to delivering a quality product or service for that matter, it usually takes a little bit longer for you to get that product or service out the door. And that's okay because you can charge a premium and people are willing to pay that premium because they know it's going to be free of defects. There's usually some sort of brand recognition that comes along with it, and that's a good thing. When it goes into the quantity or just getting as much volume as possible out the door, you also build a brand and reputation for being the cheapest out there. The challenges that you run into is usually you can't charge a premium for that product or service. It's just as cheap as possible. Why this is important is that whichever path you decide to take, it is going to determine your marketing, your branding efforts, and who your target customer is going to be. The people that are buying Louis Vuitton and Bugatti are not shopping at Walmart. I don't think. I could be wrong on that, so please correct me if you know of anybody that owns a Bugatti and shops at Walmart. And vice versa. The people that are usually found in Walmarts, they're probably not going to be going out and buying Bugattis. Again, there's nothing wrong with either approach, but when you are building a business, you need to be focused on which path makes the most sense for us, which path makes the most sense for my vision for this company as a founder. Because if you start to mix and match and muddy the waters, you're going to run into some pretty significant challenges. Now, look, we all know building a business is going to be challenging whichever path you take, but why create any sort of unnecessary confusion by not really nailing down who your target customers are and what your reputation is going to be like in the marketplace? Hey, real quick, guys, we all know how challenging it can be to build a business. I've started this new series on the podcast that's focused on specific topics related to building a business. We don't run any ads. We're never going to. The only ask I could have is that you leave a review, share this with some friends, anybody that you think could potentially see value in it, and we can put some good karma out there and possibly positively impact more people's lives. Thanks. To highlight the differences here, I want to share a little bit of a story. Now, this was over a decade ago. I worked for a company. They had acquired two different bearing companies. Now, this is in the oil and gas space. One bearing company, they manufactured, distributed high-quality bearings here in the United States. They charged a premium for their product because they could command that premium. The parent company also acquired another bearing company that really just resold Chinese bearings at a much cheaper rate, but it was all about just getting as many of them out the door as possible. Now, one of the things that they did really well is they let these two entities operate entirely independent of one another. Why did they do that? Well, they didn't want the brand and reputation of the Quality Bearing Company to be tarnished by this other company that was just known for getting cheap product out the door. That seems pretty basic in nature, but they did a beautiful job of executing, acquiring both entities, letting them operate on their own, and then just consolidate the financials on the back end. And whenever I say operate on their own, most people would never know this Chinese bearing company was actually part of the greater portfolio of companies. They just wanted the revenue coming in from that product. Pretty solid approach. Now, I've also seen instances where a parent company that is really just focused on getting as much product out the door, they're not really as concerned with quality. They acquire a business that is known and has a brand and reputation for high quality products. They charge a premium. They have great margins on their products. Nothing wrong, again, the example that I cited earlier, there's nothing wrong with acquiring two different companies, one focused on quality, the other on quantity. Where I've seen mistakes be made is when you acquire a business that has a different brand and reputation from your core business, and then you try to integrate them and bring them together. Can it be done? Yes, but it is extremely challenging for you to navigate that integration because all of the employees that are focused on building a high quality premium product, their mindset is all around making sure that every single piece is perfect. They test, they validate, they verify, everything is perfect and it just works every single time. When you bring that into the fold of a company that doesn't test and make sure everything's perfect, and it's just get it out the door, just load up the pallet. We'll give them extra if we need to. You tarnish the brand of the high quality company, and it doesn't work. So what ends up happening is you start having to lower your price. And so you're not really even realizing the benefit of acquiring that company that had all this beautiful margin that you acquired the company for. And when you bring them into the fold, all of a sudden you start destroying the company, the brand, the reputation, all in the name of getting volume out the door. And so what you're left with is this kind of hodgepodge of just challenges that occur, especially let's not overlook the idea and the thoughts of these engineers that are just butting heads all the time because one's focused on just getting as much out the door and the other's focused on quality. It just creates unnecessary conflict and confusion and frustration throughout the business. So those are two examples of what to do and what not to do whenever it comes to mixing and matching and blending companies when they have two entirely different reputations for delivering their product or service. There is no right or wrong answer here. Now, I will say that for us, we focus on delivering the highest quality product possible. And it takes time. It's not easy. It makes it extremely challenging because you have to hire the right talent that also will meet the quality expectations of your product or service. And we all know how challenging it can be to hire talent. I mean, look, it's a pain in the ass, quite frankly, but it's the path that we choose. That's why commitment to excellence is kind of ingrained in a lot of what we do. At the end of the day, decide on what you want to be known for, and then relentlessly pursue that path. That is the most important piece of advice that I can give you. Choose a path and pursue that path. The more you waver, the more you flip-flop back and forth, the more challenges you are going to experience and encounter. And it's just going to unnecessarily complicate things in your life and business. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I have for the show today. Thank you so much, and y'all have a good one.